How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be building some simple key hooks. I don't want to buy them. Actually, I have them here, but you know that's not fun. I want to build my own key hooks. So we're going to be building some homemade key hooks out of some cut masonry nails. These are an 8D by 2.5-inch nails. This is what we're going to be using. It's a little bit of a process, but I think we all can do it. So let's get on with it and see how this little project goes. The first thing I want to do is figure out how many key hooks I want to do at one time. And I think at least weighs 3 of them. So get your little masonry nails out. Hold them like so and put them in your vise. We're going to cram them all together because we need to heat these guys up a little bit. Masonry nail is a very hard nail, so what I'm going to do is take some of the temper out of this nail so I can drill them. So I'm just going to use a little bit of MAP gas. We're going to use some MAP gas here, and we're going to heat these nails up until they're cherry red, and then we're going to let them cool down really slow. Alright, now that we got them nice and cherry red, we're just going to let them sit there until they're cool enough to hold them with our hands. Now that our little hook's been sitting there for a while, I could touch them with my fingers, no problem at all. We'll go ahead and take them out of the vise. And you're going to want an anvil or something hard, because now we're going to punch where we want our holes in each one of these drilled. So we're just going to set our little punch down on there. Give it a whack. Get that light out of the way. And I try to get them pretty spaced out about the same as best you can. If we did them perfect, they'd think we bought them from the store, so we don't want them perfect. Each one of them is going to get 2 holes drilled in it. Now that we got our holes punched, we're going to take them in there and we're going to run the drill press on them. I got them fairly decent. I think they look good. I think they'll be just fine. If you'd like to have a measurement, I'll get a tape measure here. So if you want a distance from there to there, 5/8, maybe 3/4 of an inch between holes. About 3/4 of an inch between holes. Close. And that'll work. So the holes that we're going to be drilling are very tiny. You can see the little nail that we're going to use to go through this hook. So whatever size nail you want to use, just get just a little bit bigger nail or a bigger drill bit and it'll work just fine. So we're going to go ahead and start drilling these guys out. Okay, all of our holes are drilled, and we just want to make sure that our nail fits right through the hole. That's going to be the little nail that will attach it to the piece of wood that you want to hang your keys on. Okay, now that each one of our little hooks have been drilled, we're just going to wipe some of that off, clean them up just a little bit. What I'm going to do is take one at a time and place it in my vise. And you can see how these have been stamped. This has a rounded edge here. This has a sharp edge here. We're going to keep our rounded edge out. Can you see that? It's sharp here. On this side, it's rounded on the edge. This is how it was stamped out. So we're going to put it with the round edge facing out away from the vise. We're just going to clamp the tip of it right into our vise, like so. Fairly tight. Now, I know that you all don't have a set of these pliers, and I do believe that you can buy these pliers. And this is just an old set of pliers that I had. I cut the tip off of it, and I welded this round bar on it. This piece of round bar here, I just welded it on there. Now, I think you can buy these, but if you don't, just take a needle nose pair of pliers, and we're going to heat this up, and we're going to make our bend. We're going to turn back to our map gas. Now that we got it nice and hot, we're going to come down just a little bit on there, and we're going to twist. So that's what our hooks are going to look like. That on the outside is just shell. That'll come right off when we get ready to clean them up. Now mind you, these guys are going to be super hot, so don't grab them with your fingers. We're going to let that cool down on its own. Put us another one in there. Do all three of them the same exact way. That rounded end out towards the outside. Snug it up fairly tight. Heat it up with your map gas. Now if you notice, when I heat that up, I'm heating that up almost all the way down to that last hole down there, that first hole right there. It's almost all the way down to there. One more to go. Round end out, sharp end in the back. Now that all of our hooks have been bent, we're just going to let them cool off. Okay, so our 3 hooks have been cool enough to touch now. What I'm going to do now is we're going to clean up this edge, the outside edge of this, because this is the rounded edge and this is not. I don't want nobody to get cut on it because they could be pretty sharp. So we're going to clean these edges up, and you can do this on a grinder, a bench grinder. You probably could do it with a piece of sandpaper, but I'm going to use the 2x72-inch grinder here. And I do have a video on how to build this 2x72-inch grinder, which is pretty cool. So we're going to get to cleaning these edges up just a little bit. Alright, you can see all we did was clean this edge up and this little edge here because they were kind of sharp. Man, we don't want people hooking their fingers on it. So let's go ahead and get these cleaned up a little bit more. Okay, so we're just going to take a wire brush and clean off any slag that might be hanging off of these guys real good. And this is just a steel wire brush. Now that we got these cleaned up, all the edges cleaned up on them, there's a couple different ways we could kind of preserve them. We can put beeswax on them, or we can put beeswax, and if you want it to kind of look bronzy looking, and I'll do two of these, I'll do one of each to show you what we can make them look like. So we'll take these two right here, and we're going to heat them up with that MAP gas again. And one of them we're going to put beeswax on, and just beeswax. And the other one, we're going to take a brass wire brush. And we're going to brush it with a wire brush while it's really hot. And it's going to kind of give it a bronzy look. So let's do the beeswax one first. We're just going to take a pair of pliers. And we're going to get our little hook in the pliers. I'll move this one out of the way. Get our beeswax ready. And we're going to heat it up. Now it only really has to be as hot as it takes to melt the wax, and I'm sure that's way hot enough. It might be a little too hot, but this is how it works. And this will preserve it and keep it from rusting. Yeah, I might have got it just a little bit too hot there. And that looks pretty good. And that's just ordinary old beeswax. I think you can get it at a craft store, or I see it a lot of times when we're out at craft shows. You see it all the time. So we'll go ahead and set that one off. We'll be wiping this off just a little bit with a rag after it cools there a little bit. We'll put it over here. Now we're going to take another one. I'm going to take this one here. I think we're going to heat this up pretty hot, because then we're going to take our wire brush and go over it. So let's get this thing pretty hot. What we're going to do is we're going to try to get some of this brass to transfer over onto that piece of metal. And I do believe you need, a solid brass brush. And I'm not sure if I got one here or not, but I think it's going to look pretty good. Whew. Thing's super hot. Going to heat up the other side. We'll heat this side up a little bit. I'm going to go grab another brass brush, because I don't know if that one's a solid brass brush. I got a couple different brushes here. I'm pretty sure one of them's solid brass. So let's go ahead and put some wax on this one. It should have a little bit of a bronzy kind of look to it. It's still super hot. There it goes, it's cooling off now. Okay, I'm going to let these cool off and wipe them off and show you if we have much of a difference after we wipe them off. Alright, these guys have been cooling off a little bit. We're just going to go ahead and wipe them off with an old rag. And I think that one was the one that I wiped with the brass, and this was the plain one. There's not much difference in those. I thought there would be a little bigger difference. I've done them, maybe I didn't have them quite hot enough, but as you can see, this one is just a little bit lighter than that one. This is more dark and this is more light, but I think just the plain wax looks really good. You can see this one here is kind of got a little bit of brass on it, and that one's more black. But either way, I think they look good. Alright, so we got 5 sets of them made. I have 5 sets of the little hooks. I'm going to show you the difference in the ones that we rubbed with the brass, and then the ones that we did not. The 2 in this hand and my right hand are darker color. These kind of took on a little bit of the brass color, and I think they're going to be beautiful little keychain holders. But I actually made 5 sets of them because we're going to make quite a few of these little key holders, and they're pretty nice. These are the 5 sets that we built. You can see the different color in that one. Just a little shade different color in these ones, but overall I think they turned out nice, and we didn't have to buy them. They were nails that I had here in the garage, so we got quite a few sets of key holders, hooks, key hooks. In the next video, we're going to be building the board that's going to connect them together, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. This is what it's going to look like. This is the pattern that we're going to use. We're going to be cutting these out of some old cherry wood. I think it's going to be pretty cool. So stay tuned for the next video and check out this piece here. We got quite a few things to do to this piece too. So I would like to tell everyone thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Till next time.